Hello, everyone. All right, so welcome back. This is our third week, and this week we're going to take the next step in our look at the Romantic poets. So, last week we looked at the preface to the Lyrical Ballads, which was written by William Wordsworth, who, through this book, sort of started a new Romantic movement. And he asked the question then of whether his work was worth doing and whether it would be effective or not. So he also said that poetry is not so much intellectual as the people from the Enlightenment thought, but that poetry should be a spontaneous overflow of emotion. So, with that in mind, what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at two of his poems this week, in addition to one of his friend's poems, Samuel Taylor Coleridge. And what we're going to do is we're going to say, okay, you had this theory, which you talked about in the preface. But when you put that theory into practice, is uh, the idea of speaking in the language of common man in order to create a spontaneous overflow of emotion, is that effective? So we're going to ask that question as we read Ode and as we read I Wander Lonely as a Cloud. So we're going to look at those, and then we're going to look at Samuel Taylor Coleridge, who still does not write about the common man, even though he and Wordsworth were best friends, and some of his poetry, or some of Coleridge's poetry, ended up in lyrical ballads because they were such good friends. Uh, Coleridge does write a story called Rime of the Ancient Mariner, which is about a grand ship voyage, and it has supernatural elements like uh, spirits reanimating uh, dead crew members in order to pilot a ship. So, your response paper is going to be on uh, the Rime of the Ancient Mariner, but your discussion is going to be to discuss whether Wordsworth actually achieved his goal of creating that spontaneous overflow of emotion through the language of common man. So that's what we're going to look at this week. Does the theory and the practice of that theory actually mesh? Or does the theory fall a little short when put into practice? That is a question that has been asked for thousands of years and is still being asked this day. We're going to take a look at that with the Romantic poetry that appears in lyrical ballads.